brought to you by Okanagan Spring Brewmaster Black. Unfortunately, we can't drink it here anymore.
Yeah, it's a beer on decline. Apparently nobody drinks it anymore. I don't know why.
They would never carry it in my liquor store. I would have bought it.
It's because, you know what it is? It's a Betamax quality, that's why. It's too good for regular people. Hey, so we got a lot of voicemail feedback this week.
We do. Should we just do a quick roundtable and then get into it?
Oh, let's do a micro roundtable.
Because we got
we got 15 people in here. Just let's choose 2.
Whoa.
And the rest of the people not.
I say if you're blonde, you get to talk.
Ooh, that means I get to talk. Excellent.
That's not blonde, honey.
Well, okay. Oh, never mind. I'm not gonna go down that rabbit hole because I'm gonna get spiky eyes at me all night. Okay, let's start with Big Bonnie. What's up? What's up?
Bonnie Sainsbury, social media smarter.
.com.
And
Is that your new
Twitter?
tagline? Social media smarter?
No, it is, yeah.
Well, which is it? No or yes?
No, it is. It is social media
Oh,
smarter.
Okay, cool.
And my business.
.com. You've been doing that for a long time,
I've
right?
been doing it for a long time because my business.
I never heard you
like
say that
bit.
before.
Oh.
She says it all the time.
I say
It's the
you
first
just
time it
weren't listening.
registered. Huh? I
Well,
must
it's
be.
on Facebook all the time.
Obviously, I'm not drunk.
No,
Where's my
I know.
new beer? That's the problem.
I
Okay.
know.
Twitter Maven.
Yeah.
And I have 2 new projects that I can't.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
I can't talk
Nope.
about those yet
Oh.
because they're
Oh,
not
damn.
out in the wild yet.
All right, no biggie.
But can you
they're
talk about
very exciting.
Can you talk about the initial?
Hugely exciting.
Can you talk about the concept?
Nope.
No, because
Oh.
then we tell you what it was.
Yeah,
No,
well,
but
it's
it's-
okay.
But it's the two blondes
It's
here.
kind of like having.
Wait a minute.
It's
We
kind
might
of like
be-
having Ian Nethercott here, and
One
he's
of
like
them's-
blah blah blah. And we'll
one
have
of
to edit
them's
the
a
show.
Yeah,
Are
well,
we talking about the same thing? I
Totally
was
different.
thinking about your blogging.
Oh no! Oh, I have that. Yes,
Yeah.
that's one of the 3. So
Oh, okay.
what I did was decide to use my social media, my internet marketing, and my content marketing skills, and to create a blog that's in a niche that I am not an expert in. I know something about it, but I'm not an expert, and I am going to be fairly public about the monetization process.
Okay.
Cool.
And the other thing I'm talking about is the resources that I'm using. And for the most part, they're free resources because, I mean, if anybody spent $1,500 or $2,000 on a blog, they could make it pay. But this was so that the people who were in my community, especially on Facebook, at least, and including beginner bloggers, have could use these resources.
Cool.
So, and
so
I'm
you're being a
talking
true
about-
life case study.
I am.
Yes, like
And-
prototyping to prove it.
Right. So I'm not doing this because I'm not going to have a $300 workshop to tell people how to do this. I actually would like this blog to be a source of income for me. And when I get there, hopefully it isn't before I, get to be 80 years old, then I add water and I'll do another one.
Cool.
Cool.
I like it.
So that's what it is. So I'm using today. I talked about JV Zoo and WSO. I don't know how many people. I certainly know that Andrew knows about them.
I
And
put
you
a
do, too.
warning on that post.
You did.
Yeah.
Danger Will
addictive.
I
Robinson.
said warning. JV Zoo and WSOs are addictive.
Yeah, they are.
But that's where I got the theme. So I'm not talking about any of it because I don't want people to be in there picking at it. And I'm going to do some things wrong. And I will admit to the things that I changed. But I don't want people in there looking at it. And I don't want a bunch of people in there using the same niche I am and following along that way. So so I'm willing
So-
to be transparent, but I'm not going to be that transparent.
Okay. So are you doing this as part of like a group of people doing it, or are you just
No,
doing
it's
it on
just
your own?
me.
Okay.
And I truly do want. I expect to make money from this.
Cool.
Well, it's just basically proving a point. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to see if it makes money. It may make me money, it may not. And when it makes money, it proves the point. And if it does make money, I've learned that sequence doesn't work, and that has value too. So it's a win-win.
And I'll try another sequence.
Exactly. And eventually, and that's the whole thing about doing stuff is anything, starting a business, whatever. You just do it and figure it out on your way. If you spend your whole time, we got to do a business plan, and the business plan has got to be perfect, and then we got to this and that.
You never start.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then even if you do all that stuff and it is a perfect business plan, as soon as you start, that business plan starts to change. Exactly. So it's, do stuff, test it, see if it's worked, see what the results are, listen to your community, or build your community so you have somebody to listen to too.
It's
And
ready,
forward.
fire, aim, right?
Yeah. Well, to a certain extent it is, yes.
Mm-hmm.
And it also came from a conversation I had with someone I knew who was in the audience of when John Chow spoke. And so she asked me some things, and I explained how he uses email because I've heard him a number of times before. So I certainly understand the basics. And she turned around and said to me, "Oh, do you do that?" And I went, "Shit, no, I don't.
Mm-hmm.
I understand all this stuff,
But you don't actually do
and
it.
I've helped, I've helped clients do parts of these things successfully, but I've never done it start to finish myself.
Yep.
So I thought, okay, put your money where your mouth is and get. So, and then I also decided to go public with Facebook because then it keeps me on the straight and narrow. And when I don't feel like doing it on Sunday night, I go ahead and do it anyway. So 45 minutes a day.
So it's kind of like an accountability partner thing. that
Yeah.
you're doing.
And hopefully somebody can learn something and, stop listening to those snake oil
And
salesmen.
it'll also give you content for your other blog too, right?
That's correct.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
So-
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
it's a
that's good.
win-win scenario. I mean, I've got the same philosophy. I decided like 8 years ago. Like, I'm a hypocrite. I'm telling people to do all these things, and yet I don't do them myself.
Yep.
What the hell am I doing?
Yep.
Basically, what an asshole. So for now, that's why I do podcasts, because I know how to do a podcast in from a very simple one to a really complex one. And that's,
Yep.
ask the people to, like I do photography. So not so I can do photography, it's so I can get better at photography to help people with their photography, with everything. I don't do HTML coding. I know nothing about it, so I don't sell that. I hire people to do that for me.
Yep.
It's a basic, like a moral way to do business.
Yeah.
Instead of saying do everything.
I'm excited
It's
about it.
very cool. It is very
It
cool.
sounds really cool, and
Cool.
it'll be cool to see how it works out.
And I don't have to be perfect. I mean,
Well, that's
I've-
real.
Nobody is.
I've admitted before that I went down a rabbit hole. We all do. Well, lots of us do. But there's people that are honest about it. That
Yeah.
I went down a rabbit hole. So
Yep, exactly.
Kill the rabbit, barbecue it, eat it, move on.
yep.
And you took a search course, I saw. Do
Oh,
you
yeah,
have any quick tips for us?
Oh, the one I like the most is the graphic search.
Yeah.
So I didn't know there was graphic search before.
This color search.
Yeah, color search
Very
is
cool.
one. I did know that limiting it to a certain URL was there, but I didn't know how to use it properly. And there's all sorts of things that the address bar does.
Oh, so the brackets and pluses, and it's like, oh my
you
god,
send me
it's
the
so
link?
complex.
I know that makes my eyes.
Send me
But
the
you can
link.
actually build formulas for
Yes,
like
you
if you're
can.
if you're a professional searcher, like a person that works for a magazine, and your job is to make sure that the writers actually research stuff properly, you can build these incredibly complex searches that are hundreds and hundreds of characters long, and you paste it in, and boom, you get these
Yeah.
15 results on Google. Not 750,000. You get 15 results, and then you can go through, and every single one of those will be dead on. That's what high-end searching is all about. If you follow me on Facebook, I always try and respond with another link. Like if somebody said, "Oh, what about think of this?" and then I'll go research it quickly because I'm good at this, and come back and say, "Yeah, da da da." And by the way, this is the facts around it, and here's the link to the original one or whatever. And because I'm trying to make the quality of the posts, better with good research, because nobody does research. They say, "Oh, isn't this great?
Yeah,
I'm
I know.
reposting this," and you know nothing about it. You haven't read it. You know nothing about. I mean, somebody did a post about the sculpture in Vancouver, and somebody made this really cool beer can plastic thing, and they wrapped it around and said, "Oh, I discovered this is really cool. Oh, it's awesome. I'm going to try and find it in Vancouver." And then I knew, because I'd seen it, this is older than that, so it's not there anymore. It came out in 2010. It's 2014, guys. So she hadn't researched it. She just saw the picture, thought it was cool, and posted it, and basically bullshitted a bunch of people. And I went and I found it, and it was easy to do. You just drag the picture, you put it into Google image search, and it's like, and find where's the original. 2010, you click on the image and said, take me to that website. And it takes you to the original report, which was done by CTV. And it's like, boom, oh, by the way, this is in 2010. Boom, boom, boom. Here you go. Took me 3.5 minutes.
I know. No,
People.
It's
Don't be so
amazing
damn
how many
lazy.
people, they don't even Google things. Often I see people on Twitter going, "Oh, does anybody know about how to blah, 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 blah?"
Yeah,
I'm
the
thinking,
Google paste.
and I'm thinking, yeah, I don't, but I'll take a minute out of my day.
All right, the beer has arrived.
I'll take a minute of my day, Google it, respond to them, and go, "Oh, here's a site you might get some information from," and they're like, "Oh, you're so smart." I'm like, "No." I don't
I'm just
say
not
that.
fucking lazy. Is the
Yeah,
thing.
I'm not a fucking idiot and can't be bothered to just, it's like, ask Google.
Yeah.
Hey, I'll keep that glass for my Guinness. Okay. All right, thank you. By the way, what's your name again? Megan's here serving us beer. She's doing an awesome time. I asked for dark beer, and I found Guinness in front of me. Awesome.
Yay.
Amazing service down here at the Den Bar. Friendly people and lots of booze. Can't
What
lose.
more could you want?
Exactly. And the Bunker Show every now and again.
Yep.
So, should we continue on with the round table?
Oh, hey, who's this guy on my right? This.
No, who's the blonde?
Oh,
The
what?
other blonde?
Oh, sorry. I thought we were just going to skip right over you. All right. Saran wrap specialist.
Do you want daggers all night, Bob?
Oh, yeah, baby. Oh, baby.
So, Margaret Reynolds, I don't know what I'm going to call myself today. I'll be BC Internet Gal / Women Talking Tech / Kindle Author / something else really coming up cool that Bonnie and I are going to be doing.
BBC, what's that?
BC Internet Gal.
Oh, okay, cool.
So how many books do you have? How many books?
I
in
have
it?
3, and as of hopefully tomorrow there'll be 4.
Holy crap.
Bonnie, stop feeding her lines. How long are these books? Do they have graphics? Do they use big words?
Yes, and they're not.
Bob.
Well, the first 3 aren't very long, but no, there's some pictures and graphics,
cool.
and they're more.
What
for,
subjects?
They're more for fun information.
Good.
One was on chemical-free beauty products,
Ooh, good one.
and one was on gluten-free, and one was on decluttering.
Didn't that get to be number 1 for a
That
while?
was no for a period of time. It was number 1 in mental illness,
Which is a bit disturbing.
This
Because
next
clutter
one is
is
actually on
actually mental
anti-aging.
illness.
Actually, I saw a really interesting article on, what was the third book?
And the third decluttering.
No, the other one before that, between the two. There
oh,
was
gluten.
Gluten. It was this article, well, actually, it was video interviewing people that were gluten-free.
They don't even
and
know what gluten
They
is.
didn't know what fucking gluten was.
Oh yeah, I saw
You know,
that
it's like,
today.
yeah. So that would be a perfect addendum for that book. And that's what's nice about virtual books,
Yeah.
is you can upgrade them, and then the person
Oh,
has it.
exactly, because
Boom, there you go.
if it's not selling, sometimes they say change the cover. So boom, change the cover. You get new information. You can edit the book.
Sorry, that's not me farting. That's my line.
So yeah, I mean, it's like I'm not trying to be some world famous author. I'm just trying to sell some
You're
books and
disseminating stuff.
Provide
now,
some good
are
information.
Are you using those books to capture people's emails?
No,
Really? Because that's a great way of using those books. Right?
On Kindle?
No.
on Amazon you
if
don't. You don't. You
Oh,
don't-
yeah, you
Not
can
on
give it away.
Amazon,
Yeah,
yeah.
I see
You
what
could
mean.
use it if you had a site in that niche and offer it
Oh,
as
yes.
link bait.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
that's what
if
Bob's
if
talking
Yeah,
about.
if I find a topic that I really get into and do a series, then it might be worth it. But for one book, I'm not creating a website.
Yeah. And you're actually making real money right
Yeah,
now.
I'm making a
Yeah,
bit of money
not-
off it. I need to get more books out there
You're
before
not
it's
going
going
to
to
the
really add
Caribbean
up.
yet, but
Not yet.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is you could create a book specifically to give away to
Oh,
people
right.
if they give you their email to capture a following, right? Because once you get that
No, that just-
going
no, I
with
have to
email
say,
campaign, then
that
you can
doesn't
sell
appeal
all
to
the
me
other
at all.
books. All right.
Call me crazy, but it just doesn't.
Not your thing.
Not my thing.
That's so 2011.
It's just not
It
my
is.
thing. It's not going to happen. But yeah, the other thing that we're working on is going to be very cool because once we perfect that process, that's something that'll be shared.
Cool.
we will be running workshops.
Yeah.
Nice. And then you need the link bait.
Yep. Yep. We're
See, and
good.
that's the end goal is we'll be logging into this show from Panama or Spain or
Oh, yes. The travel.
Huh, really?
Actually, I've got a couple of books. In fact,
Bangor.
I've got one in a locker. I will give it to you. It's the Beach Bum Millionaire or something, and it's all
That's
about that
what we wanna
process.
be.
yeah.
Yep. There's lots of people doing it around there. It's not a
Tuscany.
it's not a bullshit idea. It
No,
works,
it
and there's
isn't.
lots of people
no.
doing it.
No, but the thing is, a lot of people think you have to be making millions in order to
No,
do it.
it's not about making meals. That's
You
the
don't need
secret.
to be making millions.
I'll go grab the book.
I mean, we want to make good money. I mean, that's
Yeah.
the whole goal. But
Yeah.
but also too. I mean, if you can prove income of $1,500 a month, you can get residency in Panama.
Exactly. And also,
It's cheap to live there.
exactly, that's the point. Like
Ooh,
when
and I think they have really favorable tax laws too.
Yes, they do. John
Cor-
Chow was telling me about that.
Corbett Barr from Think Traffic, which is now Fizzle.co,
Okay.
he when he left his corporate startup career, he took I guess a year or so off and went down to Mexico with his girlfriend, now his wife, and they lived in Mexico. And he said he thought there was only two career paths, and one was to work your butt off in a corporate job, established corporate company, and work your way up the corporate ladder, or
Rob a bank.
get a big payoff in a startup. He
Yeah.
said those are the two paths to success. And then eventually you
Idiot.
can retire and whatever. And while he was in Mexico, he saw all these people traveling through that were living, a lifestyle business.
Yeah.
And he's like, wait a minute.
Here's a third
Well,
one.
I mean, there's so
There's a
many
third
ways to make money
option.
on the internet now. It was like, why do you have to limit yourself?
Yeah, he's like, there's a third option that it opened his eyes, and he thought, these people are doing what I want to do when I retire. Why not do it now? And so that's when
Yeah.
he started Think Traffic, and that's exactly what he's doing.
Okay, so check out these titles. These books courtesy of businessbooktalk.com. All right, this one's called Less Work, More Money, The Entrepreneur's Life Plan. The next one's called The Beach Bum Millionaire, How to Build a $1 Million Business the Lazy Way.
Okay.
And this one's called How to Succeed in Business, the unique book for entrepreneurs and business people who have the desire to succeed. So those three books are basically all the same topic.
Yep.
They sound totally different, but they're all basically the same things.
See, after we do it, I'll write a book on it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that'll be my other income stream.
And the suitcase entrepreneur.
Ooh, who's that?
That's
that's a nice one, yep.
She does. That's what she does. I met her when she was in Natalie Sison, and I met her when she was in Vancouver. And I think the last time I saw her on Facebook, she was in Tokyo. But she's all over the world, all the time. She travels.
Nice.
Yeah.
And the thing is, like, you don't do these businesses because you want to travel. You do these businesses so you have the freedom to do anything you want. If you
Yeah.
want to, like, stay in a ranch and just hang out there and milk cows, who cares?
Yep.
It gives you the freedom. It's not about making piles and piles of money, and basically manipulating and negative stuff and being the top of the pile and then retiring. It's just like live your life,
about
make some money
yeah.
on the side, and just trundle along. Don't worry about it. That's the secret to life. Really, it's do what you love to do
That gives you choices.
for as long as possible. For as long as possible. And, some people have to wait until they're 60 or 70 until they realize that. But that's okay. You can start then.
So multiple streams of income.
Yep. And
So
small
each
little
of us
streams.
have multiple streams of income.
Exactly. Lots of irons in the fire. And the more irons you put in the fire, the higher chance of them all going off at the same time.
And we've known how to do this for ages. We just need to get off our butts.
Well, some of this is kind of some new ideas,
Oh, yeah,
but
no,
it's
some of it is new,
totally
but-
scalable. So it's something you can start small, build it up as much as you really want to, and yeah.
And then Google Hangouts are they're relatively new, but they also help you to be able to talk to other people to build a community.
Exactly.
And maybe it's been around for a year, but popular for 6 months.
Yep.
So that allows, and other kinds of technology that are allowing us to do some of these things that were much more complicated before.
Well, I think it because of the stuff that's available now, like Google Hangouts, it enables you to do the personal touch with your
Yes.
community as you build it. So it's not like just emails. There's a problem with emails is it's just too impersonal.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about Google Hangouts, because you get to hang out, you have a beer, you chat with somebody, blah, 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 and you get to know them as a human being. Whereas if you're writing or composing, is probably a better word, an email, there's all sorts of filters you put in there. And then you're going over it again, especially me, because I'm such a terrible speller. Like, I'm going over that thing multiple times, and it changes, it morphs, and then I send that sucker off. So really, that's the difference. If you're doing something live, that's just the same as being in a room. It's like, here we are. We got 4 people in a room with mics. We could be in 4 totally different rooms in 4 totally different parts of the world, and it would be exactly the same.
Yes.
So, and you know,
I
working with
wouldn't be
business
able
don't
to
get that.
glare at you and give you dirty looks quite the same.
You could, because you'd be on a Google Hangout,
Oh, this is
Yeah.
true.
right? If you lit it properly and had a good that's the thing. People don't use light properly in Google Hangouts. Say, oh, I'm all pixelated. The reason you're pixelated is because the camera is trying to deal with having no light in your room.
Or they have a window behind them.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like, really,
So
people?
bring in a little light and you look awesome. People say, oh, you have an amazing camera. I say, no, I just got a shitty $60 camera,
And
but
an
I have
amazing
2
face.
lights. And I've got, oh, thank you. It's my Baba. My Baba.
I meant me, but that's okay.
Oh, jeez. I'll take a compliment, even if I have to steal it. And you just put a little nice light on you and diffuse it, and you look awesome. And you don't make the camera struggle. You know, give it lots of light. They're designed to have lots of light because they're cheap. Anyways, should we do some...
Some voicemail feedback?
Absolutely.
Oh, I'm ready for that. We haven't had that for ages.
I know. They've been slacking. Dun, 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 dun. Just kidding.
Oh, shoot.
So-
That was copyrighted. We're going to be pulled down.
Oh, man. It was less than 15 seconds. Don't worry.
Is that sort of like the 3-second
I went-
rule
oh.
when you...
Storm. It's kind of
Oh.
funny. I was carpooling with a colleague the other day, and
Colleagues.
she was talking about a program she watched on the TV about how our information is kind of out there. And I think it was that Spurlock guy, the guy that did all those exposés on McDonald's and stuff, talking about how much information can be gleaned from people that they
Morgan.
didn't expect to be able to be out there. And I just thought, that's interesting, because, I mean, that's what all the big companies are doing now anyways with Google and stuff. It's not just a big surprise that that much of ourselves is out there already. Anyways, just an observation. Thanks, bye.
And a good one at that. Man, he's becoming very philosophical. Maybe he's not drinking as much, or maybe he's drinking more.
So it wasn't really a question. It was more of an observation.
Yeah.
That,
So what do you think of his observation?
I don't have a problem with it. I mean, to me,
It's only out there if you put it out there.
it is, well,
Yeah, but not many people see it, especially the way Facebook's structured these days. You can put stuff out there on Facebook and nobody sees it.
no, it's out there even if you don't put it out there.
No, but I mean, if you it's like, if you don't post a photo, nobody sees it. So I mean,
True, but
if you don't say this stupid comment in social media, nobody knows for sure you said it.
no, but they're still mining your data whether you're on social media or not. You're still getting mined. Social media just makes it
Absolutely.
easier.
It's your credit card you're being mined on.
Yeah.
It's your Safeway discount. Oh, here's an interesting thing.
Your birth
More.
certificate.
Yeah, exactly. Safeway just got bought out
Yep.
by a large multinational, and the hilarious thing is the reward system algorithm the program for Safeway doesn't work with the new head office, so they just cancel the whole thing. So everybody gets the Safeway discount now, which kind of defeats the purpose of shopping at Safeway. But so dudes, it's weird. You go in there shopping and say, "Yeah, do you want my Safeway card?" No. Everybody gets the same discount. Well, then you're not. So what's the point of? It's just
But
Anyways.
also like so there's some on This Week in Tech this week they were talking about this, and someone was saying that they went to extreme lengths to just not be on social media at all. Like they do everything to be undetectable on the internet. They don't do anything on the internet. But the thing is, if someone has their phone number or their address or any kind of information on them in their smartphone that's connected to Facebook, Facebook has it, and they build a I don't know what they call
mobile
it,
that's even
a shadow profile, a shadow account.
Yep.
And they accumulate information on you that way from multiple sources.
Well,
So-
even if you delete an account, it never's deleted. It just becomes a shadow account.
exactly.
Yeah, that's creepy.
And then 2 years later you could reactivate it, and now all your information is still there.
There's
What's
tons of
interest-
creepy stuff on there.
There was a interesting article I read about a guy who is a murder suspect, and the police couldn't do anything to capture him because he wasn't on the internet. So basically, the police that's how they find it. If you're going to be a criminal, don't have internet, period. Don't have it coming into your house. Don't have a smartphone, and the police won't be able to catch you. I thought that was fascinating. Unless you're totally an idiot.
Come on, all of the productive criminals know to use their smartphones. It's like that's how they do their.
They've
business.
watched the movies. They've watched the media. Yeah, how are they going to launder that stuff? How are they going to have that fantastic, sexy scene with all the monitors?
You
and the
you
sexy
just go
chicks?
buy 10 burner phones at 7-Eleven.
But yeah, this whole thing with this guy, he was just like non-tech, and he just had a regular flip phone, and they just couldn't track him down. They didn't know where he was. He didn't have any credit cards, nothing. He was off the grid, and they were just like flummoxed. It's like, oh, okay. It became too difficult to bother chasing him down as a murderer, so they just went for the easy, low-hanging fruit. And that's the thing. That's the way it works. The police only have a certain amount of resources, and if you're a low-hanging fruit criminal, you will get busted. If you're a difficult criminal to bust, 9 times out of 10, you're going to get away with your crime.
Unless you start turning into a serial killer and then they kind of get pressured.
No, even with that, if you're the stuff you watch on TV, 99% of the time is fantasy based. It's all about the diminishing resources that everybody has to do the same job. Whether you're in a large corporation or whether you're working for a municipality or whatever, there's just only so much you can get done in the day, and there's only so many resources you get. So
it's like Robert Pickton, right? He wasn't a priority until.
Well, also, he was only killing hookers.
That's what I mean. Like, if he was killing people in Caulfield, it'd be a different story, right?
Yeah.
Well, and
He
the
would've been caught right
reasons,
away.
but the reasons that he got away with it wasn't because they were hookers, is because those people were basically off the net. So when they disappeared, they said, "Oh, it's Betty. She must have gone somewhere else," because they're non-trackable personalities.
Well, no, they maybe they had left the city and maybe they were
right. It was, for them not being around, that wasn't a big deal because they must have gone somewhere else. It's kind of like me shooting the homeless people on Granville Street. Where's Joe? Oh, he's doing the circuit.
He means taking pictures,
photographing.
Yeah, sorry. So, boom. They haven't caught me yet. But yeah, they disappear and they come back. So where was you? Oh, I was in Okanagan for a bit, checking it out there, and I've come back. Nobody knows. Nobody knows that happened.
Yeah.
They're non-trackable people because they don't have internet, they don't have smartphones, they don't have credit cards. Everything they do is cash. They don't pay tax. They are an invisible part of our society.
But in the Pickton case, it took a group of people to speak up and say, "Wait a minute, this isn't
Exactly.
right." The police are ignoring it because
Well, and also they weren't
Because,
completely invisible because their families were missing them. It's
Yeah.
like, I know they live on the street, but they usually get in touch with me every so often.
yeah, and so it was a group of people that said,
Yeah,
you guys are just sweeping this under the rug
Yeah,
because they're
that's right.
the lowest of the low and or perceived as the lowest.
No,
of the low.
I don't think what it was it would be too difficult to track him down. They don't have the resources. I mean, look at Vancouver.
the
They
end,
can't
they
even
did.
afford
In the end, they did.
They got-
but only because they started
could've
to
done
look
it
bad.
earlier.
because it became a political thing.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
they
they-
used a bunch of resources. Probably used 5, 10, 15, 20, 30
they
million
found
dollars
enough
they didn't
teeth
have.
on that site for way more people than we know about.
Yeah. It was going on for a long time.
But the thing is they had to reallocate resources.
Yeah.
Well,
It's not like magically that money appeared. Millions and millions and millions of dollars was spent for the Pickton case. So what other crimes have happened that weren't followed up because those millions and millions of dollars weren't available? It's not like, magically because we've solved this case, it's all great that money was given to us by the government. No, it came out of a budget. And that is the whole point.
Did we answer Norm's question?
Is there more
well, it
questions
wasn't really.
from Norm?
It wasn't really a
Well,
question. It
yeah,
was
we
more
just
of a
got into
statement.
this spiral of
yeah,
thinking
no.
of society.
I couldn't even remember what the question was.
Is there more questions
That's
from
right.
Norm?
Oh, we
yeah,
got
there's another
7 of
question.
these damn things. Let's
Oh,
keep going.
cool.
Okay, let's go on to the next one.
All right.
This will be the Norm
Hey,
show.
Maven, it's
Yes.
Norm calling.
Hey, Norm.
Was listening to a show, another show the other day,
Another show.
and they were talking about how Facebook is like 8 or 10 years old now, and I find that kind of amazing. It feels like all social media has been around longer than that, but I guess it hasn't. It's just so pervasive. It just feels like it's always been here. Anyways, it was just an observation. Thanks, bye.
Another observation.
observation.
About
Wow.
10
Norm's
years.
deep.
So how old is social media, Bonnie? What do you think? 12 years old?
Yeah,
Maybe
probably.
14.
Well, the
Okay,
first,
social media
it's
has
very-
been around since the first tweet was scratched into a cave wall.
Well,
Not
No, but
not in the sense
The
we're talking about.
tools.
But
So yeah,
Classmates-
okay. Talk about the
classmates.com.
current tools, but not social media because that's been around forever.
So email forums, I will say, were a form of social media.
So that would be the BB.
bulletin boards even before
Yeah,
that.
bulletin
Yeah.
boards and all of
So
that.
that's
because
70s,
we all
1970s?
interacted. There was there wasn't any buy-in. Well, I guess there was because you had to
Sure,
know
you had to
what
get
it
an
was.
account.
You had to get on.
Yeah.
And
Took a lot of time.
So I was on there because I was a system engineer.
Yeah.
And that's how we talked to other people who were system engineers on UNIVAC 9300s.
Well, you got some amazing answers from those people too. If
Absolutely.
you got
That we
stuck,
were-
you just put it out there.
That's right.
Yep.
So these were Unix system engineers, and you do not get any geekier than these. These were people who lived in caves underneath their parents' backyard. And I was before DOS.
Yeah.
So I remember-
Pre-DOS is pretty cool.
Yes. So we had been having some kind of a conversation about something very deep. I can't remember what it was. And all of a sudden, somebody posted 2 words, and the place just the kid said DOS rules.
Oops.
And I mean, these are people with no sense of humor. And I'm telling you, I think we may almost have brought the internet down. So there's these guys doing like this whole dissertation on why Unix is that much better than DOS and why DOS is going to cause the end of the world. It was
that
spectacular.
didn't happen.
That was pre-Sun Microsystems or the same
it
about the
would
same
be.
time, right?
yeah, about the same
2-3
time.
years before that, right? Because that
yeah,
Sun
the
Microsystems was
early
happening.
Sun.
Yeah. I used to hang out with a bunch of coders from Sun Microsystems, and God, they were a geeky bunch of guys. A lot of fun, a lot of fun.
levitated, yes.
But all those guys they're Ruby on Rails now. That's their code. They all use Ruby on Rails.
But that was social media. So I mean, we all got together.
but
like Margaret said, we exchanged information. Sometimes we just played adventure together, and other times it was just like frivolous stuff. So what's the difference between that and
because
Facebook, except that Facebook is graphic?
Well, the thing is that I think today, social interaction tools, because let's define it, they're just a large swath of the society is using it. It's used on a global level. Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of millions of people or billions of people are using these communication tools, and that's what's revolutionary about it. Back then, it was in a small geekdom of maybe several 100,000 people globally. Now it's a billion people. So I think that's the difference.
Yeah, no, but I think it goes more than that. Because I was way back in the day when I used to trade video games and things like that before
Original pirate.
social media, before MSN or any of that stuff. We're communicating, and it was kind of a group of people, and you could call it social media, but I wouldn't. I don't think I would. MSN, Messenger. I had a ton of people from all over the world on my MSN. I would chat with.
What about ICQ?
And ICQ,
Yep.
I had ICQ too, and that was another form of communication.
There was one bulletin board thing I used to go on, kind of chat thing, and but I'd usually three-quarters of the time I'd go on and pretend I was a guy, because if you went on there as a girl, it was just an absolute nightmare.
Yeah.
Still,
But
is.
if you went on as a guy, you could actually have normal conversations with people because they weren't trying to hit on you.
Yeah.
So what was your name, by the way?
I don't even remember. I can't even remember the name of the site. But I just use a different name every time because it didn't matter. But I think my first social media, would have been dating sites in the 90s.
Oh,
But
there
the
you
first,
go.
huge
the very
social media.
first social media site that was actually like a modern social media site. The very first one was classmates.com, because you could invite your friends.
Yep.
And you could post and do different things. So and then of course MySpace was the first big one that kind of went mainstream. And then
Twitter was
Twitter and
quite early.
Facebook, yeah. And then Facebook took over.
Yeah.
killed MySpace.
So there's different. I mean, that was the pre-modernization of techie social interaction compared to today, where everybody's into it.
So lately, the tech journalists have been predicting the end of Twitter, Facebook, Google Plus, for sure, and
Pinterest.
that can't come too soon.
I think.
but
yeah,
I mean, give me a break.
They've peaked.
How about they're morphing into something else? Can
Yeah.
you imagine living without social media? I mean,
How would I know what you're doing?
well, but the thing is,
know.
well, as the children of today, the teenagers of today, they're SMS crazy, right? They don't use the phone; they just SMS like crazy. So they're into small text, boom, 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 boom. But as they get older, and the new teenagers come into place, they're not going to get into SMS because that's what the old crowd's into.
Yep.
So what are they going to get into? That's a fact, and that piece of technology or that piece of code doesn't exist yet.
Yeah.
It hasn't been invented.
right.
That's
So
interesting.
you can't say that Twitter is dead, G Plus is dead,
No.
Facebook is dead. I mean,
Those
we
platforms
all
may
know-
fade, but something else will come out. The only reason those platforms would fade if something better replaces them, right?
And it's not anywhere near. Would it be mobile based? Probably,
Yep.
but we don't know any of those things. So I think I'm calling bullshit on those tech writers
Sure. well,
who are saying
it's link bait. It's link bait. That's all it is.
Yeah.
People want to hear that. They want to hear, oh, they're all going to fail and stuff like that. But they're not thinking of it with the longevity
Yeah,
of
they
it.
may fail someday. In the
But who
future.
cares? I mean, there's
A
lots of
long
things.
time from now.
What that means that they don't have to learn it.
Well,
Sometimes, maybe.
Well, what about
as well, it's a good excuse.
what about the argument that because of the the whole net neutrality thing in the U.S., new entrants that are
Yeah,
going to
that's big.
demand a lot of resources from the internet in order to develop, like a Facebook.
Yep.
If Facebook had to pay
Yep.
to get access to Verizon customers and Comcast customers, and it would be a totally different story.
Yep.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. The lack of net neutrality or the danger to net neutrality is real.
Yeah.
And I think that's going to change the internet
More than anything else, yeah.
More than anything else, and that's just greed.
And
It's-
what it'll be is
and
these will be the
apathy.
good old days. People saying, "I remember the net was open and you didn't have to
you
do
just have
this
to
and
move
that."
to
And I was
Europe,
like,
because apparently in Europe, when there was a bill that was passing similar to what passed in the
some like
U.S.,
crazy German bill.
it got the left wing people in the EU got a hold of
Yep.
the bill, rewrit the entire thing, and basically guaranteed net neutrality. The bill went in to debate, like saying, okay, the ISPs can do whatever they want, and then all of a sudden, no, they can't do any of that. Net neutrality is entrenched, and it passed.
Wow.
And so now in Europe, net
It's all
neutrality
done.
is guaranteed, but in the United States, it's
not.
totally
Well,
done.
because
So-
people don't, they don't understand it. They won't spend the time
course
because
not.
I've
They
read,
won't even
I've
Google.
read quite a bit. Yeah, but I've read quite a bit about this because this is
It's fascinating.
it's fascinating, but it's also alarming that nobody is paying attention. So I've tweeted a lot about this, and I tried to find articles that were straightforward because not all of them are.
Yeah.
And you know what? My Twitter numbers just dwindle. I've had 2 where nobody paid any
Yeah,
attention.
'cause they're not
I have
interested.
not.
It's
and
too
I haven't
geeky.
had any of
No, it's a
those
real
for about a
issue.
year.
People aren't interested in real issues; they're interested.
Well,
in
in North America, they're not.
kittens and
Yeah.
that kind of stuff.
Well, what's interesting though, in 30 years or 50 years, North America and Canada and Great Britain, stuff like they may not be first world powers. They may be
Yeah.
second world going towards third world powers because of net neutrality issues. And the countries that figured it out and had their population and had big bandwidth, and basically you didn't tax the people through making them pay for internet access, will emerge, because that will gives them an unfair advantage in the market, and that's the scariest thing.
Yeah, but the thing is, you can't blame the cable companies and the telcos. They are going to do whatever is to their advantage.
Yep.
Absolutely,
And
until they crash and burn the whole society.
It's not shame on them. It's shame on everybody else for not speaking up for their own interests. They're going to speak up for their interests. Everybody else should be speaking up for the internet.
Absolutely.
So are we going to have the equivalent of outlaw radios? Do you remember outlaw radio
Sure,
stations?
pirate radio stations, stuff like that. Yeah,
Right. So
which were European, not North American, by the way.
Right. But are we, is it going to come to that, so that, we
An
sort of
illegal
come
internet.
back?
Like
black
like
internet.
the dark net.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, there is a dark net that exists, but this
Right.
is more
No.
a populist
And
dark
how much
net.
bandwidth are they hogging?
Oh, the thing is that there's enough bandwidth to go around for everybody. It's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's artificial.
You look, it's totally.
It's like saying
it's like
we're
diamonds and gold.
No, or it's
I mean,
like saying we're running out of air.
Yeah.
It's like pixels. Give me a break.
Yeah.
But it's a money grab, and the problem is it's short-sighted, greedy people saying, "Oh, I can make a lot of money, and my children can make a lot of money." But then their children's children, we're going to live in a society where there's no money, and that's just Rome used to control the whole world. What's going to happen 300 years from now? It is not going to be North America that's the top one. They just take turns. Come on, look at the way society's evolved over years and years and years. It's just the way it is, man.
Okay, so on Twit, they were talking about this. Should the
Ooh.
government be involved in regulating things like the internet, or should they just
No.
step
No
out
way.
and let the private sector do its thing? And Leo Laporte said, I agree with you. The government shouldn't be involved as long as it's an open market.
Yep.
But it's not an open market because it's a government duopoly
Yep.
at best. He says these companies are monopolies, and they are in Canada and the U.S. And it's an artificial
Yep.
government-sanctioned oligopoly or duopoly, depending on what.
Well,
what
the
market you're
reason
looking at.
why is because people are too damn lazy. This is the same people that won't Google stuff on Facebook.
Yep.
They don't have any time. They don't have resources, blah, blah, blah. It goes back to humans are asked to do way too much with way little, not enough money and not enough time. And that is a major problem. We're just squeezing and squeezing and squeezing, and you can only squeeze it so far, and then it just collapses or it stops. And or you make a bunch of diamonds.
Before we continue that conversation, I think Norm actually had something to say.
Oh,
Okay.
a relevant thing.
about,
Cool. Attaboy,
something
Norm.
about this.
Hey, Mavens, it's Norm again. That was another interesting point I was listening to on other podcasts about the FCC down in the States, how the new commissioner seems to be slanted to the big companies and squeezing out all the little guys in terms of broadcasts and stuff, and how they're trying to get it from both ends, and now it's no longer net neutrality down there. Just thought that's kind of interesting. Politics never seems to always be getting in the way of the free flow of information. Anyways, have a good night. Bye.
Well, I think we just covered that.
So basically, he just summed up what we said.
I think he did.
Yeah, and I think it wouldn't be an issue if there was like 20 service providers all
Yep.
competing. Hey, we got the movie
Hello.
maven.
Marcel.
He's in here, and that mic is not turned on.
Yeah.
Can you come over here? Don't talk about your mom like that.
No, that's right, and it's getting so isn't it Comcast and another one now want to
Time Warner?
merge? They want to merge, so there'll be fewer.
Yeah,
Bob will get you someone when he comes back.
yeah, and the thing is, it's kind of sad, and I think that if the government regulates the competitiveness of the industry, then they have to actually regulate the access and what they can do, because they've created these monsters. And so, unfortunately, I think that's the way it is, unless they want to just open it up, because it's not going to happen. They're not in a competitive space. It would happen where companies who tried to do that would say to consumers, "Look, we're not like that. Come and sign up with us, and we're going to treat everybody equal," because they want the subscribers.
Right.
But if there's only two, it's pretty easy to do a backroom deal with the
Yep.
only other company, right? So it's just not It's just not
No.
going to happen.
Yeah.
All right, so we got some more feedback from Norm. Hey, Marcel. Norm, he didn't send any voicemail feedback for like 4 shows, and all of a sudden he sent 7.
So this has been the whole Norm
it's
show.
the Norm
we
show.
listen to feedback, we talk about it. Listen to another one, we talk about it.
So we're the only people left on the show, and our only fan is Norm.
Yes.
Holy fuck, we've become Cheers. Legit.
Norm.
Okay.
Who's Cliff?
Oh, good point. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, who's Cliff? You know.
Yeah.
Oh, from Cheers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Norm from Cheers.
Yeah.
Yes.
God,
That's right.
It's a good thing you're smart, Bob.
Another voicemail feedback from Norm.
Yay.
Hey, Mavens, it's Norm again. Hey, I was just listening to my second favorite podcast, which is Tech Guy with Leo Laporte. Of course, Bunker's my first favorite. It's kind of interesting how he's always complaining about Comcast dominating the internet environment down there and how there's no competition. And I thought, wow, that's amazing. I thought that was something limited to small markets like Canada, but it sounds like even in the U.S., the carriers are pretty limited. I thought that was an interesting point.
We
Have a
kind
good
of
night.
covered
Bye.
that, though, in the
We did.
last one, right? So let's do another one.
All right, let's skip on to the next one.
All right.
Hi, Mavens. It's Norm. Hey.
Hey,
I was
honey.
Getting into the Android world, and I think it's fantastic and exciting. The only thing I find irritating is that dang Google Play Store. When you don't have a U.S. address, it blocks you out of so many different apps that you can't get to. Just a pet peeve. Have a good
Okay,
evening,
what
guys.
is he
Bye.
blocked out of?
What? There's not.
No, there's
they're
some.
not
There are
blocked.
some.
Really?
Yeah,
Mostly
for sure.
porn.
There are.
For sure.
Yeah, but
no,
I-
not porn. There's
Okay,
other
but
ones
like
that
what?
aren't. I can't remember.
Well,
Yeah.
Spotify is one.
I download
Oh,
stuff
so
all the time,
who
and I haven't
cares?
noticed.
No, well, I mean,
there
Although
are
I'm
ones.
not-
Some that
There are
won't.
there are certain apps that won't work and that are restricted to the region. You can't, like Spotify is one. Pandora is another.
And now YouTube videos, a lot of YouTube videos
Won't play?
won't play because.
But that's nothing to do with Android. That's
No,
that,
no,
that's
but
just
it-
location.
That's lawyers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's to do
No,
with
no,
lawyers.
none of it's got anything to do with Play Store.
No, it's about license rights
Yeah.
to the content.
Assholes. That's
Yeah,
what it's
that
about.
because it's probably the same thing on iTunes.
Well, no, because like let's say exactly, it's the same thing on iTunes. Let's say you're a studio and you sell the rights to a certain movie on
For North America.
to Netflix for the U.S. market, but you've got a DVD deal in Canada. Well, that's why it's not available in Canada because someone else has the rights. Whoever's selling the
And
DVDs.
nobody fucking
Is
buys
that right,
it.
Marcel?
Pretty much.
Yeah.
There you go.
So you just block your IP and
Yeah.
watch it that way.
Exactly. It's like, oh, yeah. It's really going to stop
Oh,
people.
none of us know how to do that.
Isn't there one like legal thing you can do to get an American IP that I don't remember the name of? That
Well,
a lot
I
of
don't
my
think it's
friends
illegal in
do.
Canada, but in the U.S. it is illegal to block your IP.
Okay.
Well, no. There's a way you can get a U.S. IP address that's considered legal. I don't remember the name of the site.
In Canada?
As per usual.
Well,
You
it's
gotta
like
go
cover
to-
your ass is one
You got
I've
to go to the
used. There's
U.S.
lots.
consulate. and then you
I
can
don't know.
go.
I've got a few friends that I won't name who do it, and apparently it's legal. I don't know. They don't mean no harm. Don't arrest them, Internet Police.
Hey, speaking of, who is the Internet Police now? Is that Homeland Security? Do they cover that, or is it different?
No. Please no. But I think they
Doesn't
they
our
are.
government have like any number
NSA?
of laws where they can? No, but there is no.
Not with
privacy
Harper
on
in power.
There's no privacy on the internet in Canada. Doesn't the government have like a million laws where they can do whatever the hell they want?
I think pretty much in the end.
I read a thing where the police request cell phone information
Yep.
every 27 seconds,
Yep.
and
They have to pay,
the
though.
company. Yeah, the companies that provide it actually make money,
$1.75.
which is why they don't give a shit about our privacy.
Exactly,
And
'cause they
that's
make money.
interesting.
You can make a ton
well,
of
if
money.
you're not doing, I mean, okay, it's like, you know, if you're not doing anything wrong,
Yeah, but everybody's doing something wrong.
Exactly.
So
Being
it-
in this,
I mean-
what we're doing right now
is wrong.
is wrong.
That's just morally wrong, though, Bob.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
No,
sure, sure.
but I mean, like the government.
I
could,
was drinking.
what do they
Yeah,
call
let me
it?
put my
What do they
pants
call
back
it when
on.
they build a case against you?
Evidence.
Fictitious
No, but evidence. But there's a word for it.
slander.
No,
Oh, sorry.
no. When it's one thing to be
Oh,
to be
circumstantial?
No.
Circumcised.
A cesarean section.
Something to do with circuses.
No, there's
Circus Soleil.
there's a word for it, and I can't remember the word.
Well, I've just given you a bunch.
But what it is
None of
it's,
those. Oh yeah.
it's
So
they target you to if they can't get you-
Investigate.
Oh, I
you?
know. No. It's another. There is another word.
Yeah.
And it's bubbling up.
Is it?
Like in 15
Bubble,
or
bubble.
20 minutes.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, or
about-
3 o'clock in the morning you
that's
wake up.
about when
I have
I'm
the
gonna remember
word.
it when I'm walking
I know
home.
what you mean, like framed or
You're
one
all
of those.
Yeah, well, it's
Sort of like that.
Whatever.
It's actually there's a law against doing it.
Yeah, there is.
It's abuse of power.
Oh,
And,
yeah, like that's
Well,
ever
there
used.
is a law against doing it, but there's also a bajillion laws and bylaws that have been passed over the past 3 years where they can pretty much do whatever they want.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Like,
That's why they got passed.
No, at this point in time, we have zero privacy in Canada.
The thing is, why if they can do that with our
So I
privacy,
shouldn't bother closing
why
my
can't
blinds
they?
then?
Yeah, why can't they legalize marijuana? I mean, for God's sake! I mean, oh, Andrew with
Sorry
his
about
height.
that.
That's okay.
I thought
Wanna
they
turn the volume
did.
down, or oh, you gonna play another one?
Don't we have legalized marijuana somewhere in Canada?
I thought
No.
we did.
Or is
Nope,
that just in
not
the US?
officially.
Yeah.
Oh, it's in the
no,
US.
In BC.
Medical
Oh,
marijuana.
provincially, but not federally.
Medical marijuana, it's legal.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Not
Something I-
recreational.
So what's
marijuana.
the difference? Okay, so she's going to ask.
Okay, there's
never
somebody
mind.
lives in my
You gotta be
building that's
sick.
constantly smoking dope. Says she has a medical marijuana license. The only thing I can see wrong with her is the fact that she smokes dope from 5 o'clock in the morning till midnight.
Oh, there's lots of
Yeah,
ways to
well,
get a
she
medical.
could
You
have-
could just go into a clinic and get a doctor to give it to you. It costs $200. Boom, there you go. There's your license.
On the topic of my shady friends, I have friends that have gone to their doctor and been like, I'm having a hard time sleeping, and it's like, here's some weed.
Yeah,
Like, legit.
because it works. If you do,
But
if you do sativa, you're fucked. But
Yeah, but live and let live.
exactly,
Whatever.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
next voicemail.
But in some states, it's legal recreationally.
How did
Yeah.
Washington State as
how
well.
did I can't access apps on the Android turn into this?
Hey,
It's the
welcome to the
Bunker
Bunker Show.
Hey,
Okay,
Exactly.
digression. Take a drink.
Yeah.
think about it. Like marijuana is an app.
What is it? We bend.
Oh, yeah.
Do we bend time? Is that how we got
Actually,
there?
there's a lot. If you put in marijuana
think
in
we
your
break it.
and your apps, there are thousands of apps.
Oh, yeah.
Thousands and thousands and thousands of marijuana apps out there. None of them useful because
None of them get you stoned.
Yeah, exactly.
They're
Ever
only-
tried
I
to
was
smoke some
gonna
pixels? It's a shitty high.
And they're only available in the U.S.
Smells really
okay.
plasticky.
That damn Play Store.
It's so hard to keep your phone lit.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy.
All right, let's move on to the next Norm feedback.
All right, Norm, baby.
Hey Mavens, it's Norm calling again. It's kind of interesting that a couple episodes ago you guys were talking about cell phones and this and that, and just thought it was interesting that Nokia has been gobbled up by Microsoft, and
Boy.
they're
Year
being
ago.
called Microsoft Mobility or something like that. I thought that was kind of interesting. The other thing I thought observation was that Apple seems to be losing its share in terms of phones and pads, and now my contract is about to renew, and I'm starting to double think about whether or not I should go with an Apple.
Android.
Or something
Android.
different, like maybe a Samsung
Android.
or maybe an HTC.
Android.
Not a Samsung, a
Just food
Nexus.
for thought.
Yeah.
Have a good
I
day.
like my
Bye.
Samsung.
Haven't we answered this question for Norm like 4 times?
No, he
No.
asked PC or Mac last time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But,
I would say
yeah,
Nexus
he's
5.
asked about
That's the
phone
best
brands
deal
before we
in
died.
town.
For now.
For now,
now.
but there's a new one coming out in
Apparently,
the
it's the
summer.
last one.
Is that
The
the
last
one?
Google phone.
OnePlus One.
One. As soon as that thing is available in Canada, I am
You're there,
ordering
huh?
one.
Talk about a good value.
Holy yeah.
$350 for a 64 gigabyte phone. It
Yeah.
runs pure Android and Cyanogen mod.
Nice.
Yeah.
The camera is apparently phenomenal.
I forget what it is.
You think this is going to be the iPhone killer? Not.
No,
Because it has
no.
no fashion sense.
Yes, because
You know?
it's
No, it's
There'll
5.
always be
but
the
it
sheeple.
could be a Sam.
The Apple sheeple.
It's a big
Apple
phone.
sheet.
It's 5.5 inches.
But it could. I think it can. I think it's going to drain from the peripheral, like HTC and
Oh, yeah, for
those.
sure.
And I think it's going to cut into Samsung. But it's going to be a teeny tiny nibble
Sure.
that Samsung isn't even
Yeah,
going
but
to
it's-
They ain't
notice.
gonna notice.
And it might go, and it might also take away from Apple, because lots of people
I
bought
think people are
Apple
getting
just because everybody else did. And in the last couple of weeks, I know 2 people that have gone onto Android
I just love it.
and just love it.
It's like, this
They're
is an
thinking,
awesome phone.
Yeah,
What
my
the
friend.
hell?
No bullshit.
My friend switched to Android a few weeks ago, and he's
It's
like,
like so easy to do stuff.
"Oh yeah, he got a Note 3. He just loves it."
Oh,
Yeah,
I know.
right.
And these people, once they got sort of past the fact that it wasn't an Apple and that things were easy to do, and they keep coming back and saying, "Is that all there is?"
Yes.
It works
you mean
like
I can
this?
share this? I don't have to go to another app to share
Oh.
and then do something else to let it work?
So,
Yeah.
and they like
Yeah.
the feel of the phones, and these.
Well, you know
happen to
the
be
best thing about
Samsung.
the big screen phones? Much nicer for cutting coke. I must admit, you break
Hey, you
the
know-
little tiny iPhones. I mean, you lose so much coke on the edges. It's bullshit. That's why I don't think it's going to last in Hollywood. Really.
Anyway, I am really excited about
There's just no
this
response to
phone.
that.
Yeah, I'm totally excited about this phone
because
too. But
for $349,
Yeah.
and the specs are not bad.
three
They are-
300 for the 16 gigabyte.
Yes, and
There is no 32 gigabyte
I know it goes to 64.
for $50.
I know.
Hello? That's
It's awesome.
disposable.
And it has good. Well, no, it's got incredible specs for
Yeah.
a $349 phone.
I think what's really
Hey,
going to
that's the
happen though
Nexus
is
4. Nexus
but the
5, they're
Nexus-
incredible
they're,
phones, too.
they're-
$50 more.
the rumor has it that
Why
Google is
now?
getting rid of the Nexus.
I
to
know.
go to silver.
To go to the silver.
These are $600
editions.
phones.
And they're going to be phones that are like, it'll be the Samsung Galaxy S5, but,
Yeah.
but with bare bone Google on it and
Yep.
just available for purchase outright.
Well, they've made their point, basically. They've changed the market.
They're going after the market. They're like the OnePlus1. They see, okay, well,
Yeah.
maybe,
I'm
there's
gonna
a
get
market
one.
for these phones. So, that'll be the next phone.
Well, yeah, because I'm in there. Not everybody is going to be like us, who are going to
No.
actually put down our money and find out whether it's a good phone or not.
Well, I want to get a
But
modular phone. The ones where you want a new camera, you snap in a new camera component.
Yeah, that's
that's
awesome.
so cool.
I don't care about. I want a phone that's got enough features to keep me excited that I don't have to spend $600 for or sign my life away on a contract.
Yeah, but Bob's
Yeah.
talking about, phone blocks or a project.
no, I
Google's-
understand. I know.
But it's a
And
kind of a cool concept.
the
Like,
geek-
I
the
think it'll be
geek
a
in
while
me-
before that concept really comes to life. Do you
do you
think?
think
Or?
so?
Oh,
no,
I
it's
think-
coming
No,
out
I
like
think
next
it's-
year.
I
It's
think
it's
it's a
pretty
prototype.
close. It's
Google's
coming.
going to do it big time
It's-
because
I
it's
know.
a big.
It's definitely coming
awesome.
out.
It's like instead of having to buy a brand new phone, I just buy a new CPU, and
Yeah.
now I've got quad core, and it
Yeah.
just snaps in. It's done. How much
Yeah,
did it
you
cost you?
just-
$50.
it's like Lego.
Now I get a
Just-
quad core phone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen.
So,
it. Yeah, I've seen
I want the
this
20
prototype.
megabyte pixel. Oh, the thing is like you got to look at it as a cameraman. What you do is you have 5 cameras. They're different lens. I have a wide angle. I have a semi-telephoto. I got my portrait lens, and then you snap in that lens and take pictures with
Yeah.
that camera. And then you snap and you put it in. The thing. That's the way it would work.
Yeah. So
Freaking
you could buy
awesome.
all these different
Yeah.
parts, and then
Yeah.
you could customize your phone when you go out, for the evening for whatever
Right.
you need to do. So it's really cool.
Put on my Brent Ray Fraser sex thing.
If I'm going away to Europe for a few weeks and I want to just load up on
Yep.
podcasts, I just add another memory thing in there, and
Yeah, put in my Parisian thing so I don't get hassled.
Yeah.
It'd be awesome.
it's pretty cool.
All right,
Pretty cool.
Do we have another one?
So can we talk just a
Yeah,
tiny bit
go for it.
about
Yeah,
the
yeah. What?
the yet again Android or Apple versus Samsung
Lawsuit.
Oh, they're borrowing,
no the patent
stealing, blah,
Yeah, the
blah,
patent
blah.
thing.
They
And-
all steal
and-
from each other. Come on. I mean,
I know. So what happened this time was Apple won, but it was very interesting that first of all, they wanted billions of dollars, and
Yeah,
I think
like
they
that
got a
never
couple
happened.
hundred million.
Yeah.
And
119 million.
okay,
Yeah,
oh,
nothing.
okay. So someone
think.
pointed out that Samsung's marketing budget and it isn't even the whole year, is more than what the judgment
Oh
was.
yeah, it wasn't enough to hurt them.
no, of course it wouldn't. All it is, the only reason there is a settlement is because the lawyers have to have some sort of monetary value put to it so they can bill. That's the only reason those things get settled. I mean, it's the only reason.
And the other thing is now they're saying that Apple isn't really going after Samsung, that they're going after Google. And if they went after Google, they'd be squashed like a bug.
Absolutely.
So they went through the company that they thought was weaker and maybe weaker than
Set
than
precedents.
Google.
Yeah.
But in the end, Apple is down here now, and Google is and Samsung is up there.
Yeah, and Google's even further up.
And Google is even further up.
Yeah, but
so
I think they went after the OEMs because Google isn't selling anything.
they say now they're going after software, and that they sort of never went after. Is it hardware when you talk about swipes?
But Google,
Yeah.
Google, with the exception of Nexus, and they didn't actually start out with
Right.
Nexus. There was no hardware that Google was actually selling and putting into the consumer's hands,
Right.
so it was a harder case to go after them because Google was just put it up, and the fact that they put most of the code out and said here it is, it's open source. Sure, they're profiting from it, but it was an easier target to go for the people that are actually selling the hardware.
Anyway, I they're now. I guess all these Apple fanboy journalists, and that's my bent. But come on, sometimes they talk. The stuff they say, you think,
Yeah. I know.
holy crap! How much did they have to pay for you to say that?
Yeah.
Because
Slightly biased, sure.
and now the switch, they're moving back to sort of in the middle. And, and if you say something bad about Google, I just sit in the corner and cry. But you know what? At least it's there.
No, it's more like you're sitting in the corner plotting your revenge.
Well, okay, but let's not talk about that. But at least it isn't always pro Apple. With that sort of Apple fanboy rose-colored, sheeple thing.
Yeah.
And now they're saying, well, maybe it wasn't such a good idea for Apple to go after Samsung.
Well, I mean, okay, but
do you think?
But if you look at Google as like Tim Cook says, he doesn't look at Android as one thing. It's more like Europe. It's got a label, but actually it's Italy, it's France, it's Spain, it's all. And if you compare the iPhone to any manufacturer, it's only Samsung that is really a competition to the iPhone. So,
but it's
and if you also look at the
eclipsed the iPhone,
it has, but only in the very low end market. So that like Samsung makes cheap phones and they make expensive phones. They make feature phones. They make low end smartphones, and they make high end iPhone rivaling handsets as well. But most of their sales are in the low profit market, and Apple is pretty much dominates the high end market, and that's why their app store is much more profitable, and so they do have some advantages. In the long run, I think Google has the advantage.
Well, Android has the advantage.
Yeah.
And so when Tim Cook talks about it, he talks about it from his point of view, which is he lives in this box where
of course.
no one else is allowed to manufacture, and no one else is allowed to. Well, they can put apps, but I bet you if they could get away with it, they wouldn't even let people put apps on there. They do all of that also. So he's got this model, and he's comparing a model with multi-manufacturers and all of this, and saying mine is the norm, that isn't. Yeah. And that's not right. Because
but you look at, compare, like you said, Windows 8 has more installs than all of the iOS operating systems for Apple computers.
It's always
for
been
Mac
that
computers. Way. Yeah, but it's like Windows 8 has more. So it's like, but the same thing is like, why is there so many Windows machines? Because they can have different manufacturers and all these things. It was an open market.
Yeah, that's
so they're going to same.
That's
thing.
what the same as Google is.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's exactly
but that's
the same
really
thing.
like when it comes down to it, though, the reason why the PC market is much more dominant than the Mac market is because you can get a cheap PC and
that's what businesses
or an
want.
expensive one.
And
you
I
can
think
get anything you want.
But it does
the
the exact
average
same
person walking
things.
into a computer store and they see they can get a $500 laptop,
Dell.
or they can get a $1,200 laptop.
Yeah.
You can get a $1,200 PC laptop too, but it's starting at
These are
1,200.
1972 prices, by the way. Don't be shocked. Yeah.
So-
You can get a $1,200 laptop, or you can get a
in the end of the
$3,500
day,
laptop.
for the average person, both of those machines do the exact same
You
thing.
know what? This
Yes,
is
you're
like
right. It's a
totally-
typewriter.
What I'm a bit confused about is why,
Yeah.
not just you guys, but just people, why everybody's got to just pick a side. Like, I like this one, and everything else sucks balls. It's like in pop culture. There's like 50 good different shows. Just because you like one good show doesn't mean the other good shows aren't good too, and other people have their reasons.
Hey, wait a minute. I thought you hated every show except for one.
I like lots of shows. You guys just never listen to me.
Exactly.
But that's the thing is, like, why can't we all just be like, yeah, I like Samsung. If people like Apple, that's good.
Yeah.
I know lots of people that like Apple because it's just...
I like Apple.
They find it more intuitive to the way their brains work.
I like all
you
of
know,
them.
it's like I have an iPhone and I have a Samsung, and I like them both.
That's because you drop
And
your phones.
I love my Samsung because I have destroyed this thing and it works just
Yes.
fine.
Yeah.
That's right.
Actually destroyed it. We've been over it like a million times. But no, I just like, how come, not you guys, but in general, like people are like, well,
People
I
like to pick
Samsung,
sides.
I like
No,
iPhone, everything else
because
is garbage.
It's
like
human nature.
Everything's got its
That's
pros
why
and its
sports.
cons.
That's
No,
why pro
because
sports are so big.
We're in a world of pretty cool technology. Let everyone like what they like, and it's
But
cool
the-
and it's awesome. Yay!
Apple fanboys have just been bastards for so friggin' long. You just want to take the whole bunch of them, put them into a giant.
That's the thing.
sack.
When you act
And-
holier than thou, you piss people off. It's like
You
I know I have friends that have Apple phones. I'm like, yeah, it's like
But-
I don't really care either way, but I like my phone. It's like fine, like
But,
your phone.
I mean,
I don't care. It works. It works the
Microsoft used to
same.
be that way.
Yeah, but
Microsoft
you guys are acting holier than thou. Like this
Exactly.
Is the only thing,
No,
and
no,
everyone else
because-
is sheeple. What's the difference? There's no difference.
It's look,
No,
at
what it
I
comes
have
down to is
I
that-
have multiple systems, right? I have a Nexus 5 because it's a great phone, but I have an Apple Tower at home because it's the machine that does the job. And no other machine I know can do that. And then my kids have they don't have Dell laptops. They've got
Chromebooks.
Chromebooks, right? Because it works for them. But my wife, she's got a high-end MacBook Air, and we use Dell monitors. I mean, I know enough about technology to be able to buy the best of the best for what it needs to do.
for you.
For me, exactly. And everybody else is a different answer. So, yeah, the reason you have stuff like fanboys and blah, 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 is because that's human nature. That's why the Coca-Cola Pepsi marketing campaign that lasted for 15 years, where it's Coke versus Pepsi, made those two companies the two leading soft drink companies in the world. It was collusion. They did it on purpose. The two advertising agencies got together and say, hey, let's fight it out because that's what people like to see.
Yeah.
And it was very entertaining. And people were like, I'm a Pepsi fan. No, I'm a Coke fan.
Okay, but that's what I've
loyalty.
always objected to was this sheeple mentality where, they didn't think. They just spouted whatever it was.
It's like I had somebody say Apple's better because it's more professional. I said, in what way? Like, give me an example.
I know,
Well,
but
Give me an
I know,
example.
but
they're like, it's more
it's
professional.
like sports teams.
but
It's like sports
but
teams.
At
It's
the
the same
same
thing.
time,
If
if someone were to say something negative about Samsung, would you agree, or would you just be like, no? 'Cause
No,
I
I'd say,
feel
well,
like
it depends what
goes
they
both
had to
ways.
say. It
I don't
depends
like
what they had to
TouchWiz.
say.
Like, it's also subjective.
But
I'll
it's
say
like,
something negative about Samsung.
What are you going to say
Yeah.
about Samsung?
I don't like Samsung keys, and I don't like TouchWiz.
What's TouchWood?
I don't
TouchWiz.
like
What's
Samsung
TouchWiz?
keys either.
Yeah,
what's TouchWood?
TouchWiz.
I love
Oh,
Touch.
TouchWiz. Oh,
Oh, I don't use that.
You have it in your phone.
I know, but I don't
Yeah.
use it.
nobody uses it.
Can't
That's what I'm
get rid
doing
of it.
later.
Yeah.
It's
And
embedded
there's
in
But there's a
it.
lot of things, but there's a lot more things I do like. But yeah, no phone is perfect. But the thing is, but if it's something it's more professional, well, give me an example. Like,
Yeah, but but I don't understand how they can say that then Apple's more professional when all the enterprise installations
I know.
are
See,
Windows.
that's the kind of thing that just
Yeah.
makes you want to.
But if
But
they,
it's just
if they could have
uneducated
given me,
opinion,
if
and
they could
that's
have given
what's
me a
the
for
There were so
instance
many of
or
them.
an example or something to back it up, it would have been okay. I'd listen to that.
Well, no,
but
it's
don't
just-
just say it's more professional. But don't tell me why.
Yeah, but that's
more-
what humans like to do.
But it's
They
more
like to
cool.
spout out
Apple's
bullshit.
Apple's more cool and hip, right?
Used
And-
to be.
and you buy into
It's
the
a fashion
culture.
item, sure.
Yeah,
You buy into the culture
You
of it.
do
Yeah,
buy into
exactly.
the culture, which is
Hey.
the wine.
Well,
You see,
until
that's
that
why we
time.
call them sheeple. Because it's not that they have no concrete reason why.
Well,
it's just a fact. It's just something
Val-
that
uh,
they
Val-
It's
Google
part
people
of a
aren't
community. No,
sheeple.
no.
We were in
They're
France
not
last time. Valerie's sister had just bought her whole family. Like they've got 4 daughters, and
They all got iPhones?
and they bought all Macs, right? Like
Oh.
MacBooks.
Yeah.
And she was talking about how they just their computers were time to get new ones, so they bought all Macs. And I said, "Oh, how do you like them?" And she just looked at me and she said, it's changed our lives.
Of course it has.
And I said, really? How? And she's like, well, you know what I mean.
No. Exactly.
Again, there's no
really.
concrete. It's
Well,
like,
except,
yeah.
but that's the same
It's
reason
because you feel good
sports
about it.
franchises
But why
work.
are you going to scoff at someone for liking something?
No,
on an
I'm not
abstract
scoffing.
level?
No.
I'm not scoffing, but that's
No, but it's
For
more. It's
liking
like
something on an
it. That's
abstract
fine.
level,
But
yeah.
if you're gonna say mine is better than yours because it's more professional,
But that's
tell
what
me
you're-
why.
But
Yeah.
you're doing the same thing. Mine is better than yours because all you people.
No,
are
I said
cheap.
I like
cares?
Android. If you want to like Apple, But
Yeah,
I
what
like shut
up about
what
it.
bugs me is the fanboys that are just fanatical
Smugness.
and smug without backing it up.
But you know what?
I have a bunch of concrete reasons
guess
why I
I'm
like my
s-
phone.
in
I can
terms
tell
of
you how the different
smartphones,
things.
I'm Switzerland because I like them all.
Oh yeah.
Oh, here he comes. Here he comes.
Yeah, but also that's your job.
No.
It's all
People in my
about
job
social
usually have a-
paradigms
have
and
a preference.
communities. That's all it's about. It's the
Okay,
power
so,
of community. That's all it's
In
about.
the end, Ren, it's the thing. They all do the same thing.
Let's
We got the final comment, and
final.
actually, I think it's a little bit relevant.
Oh, and I have a
Okay,
question after
cool.
Norm.
Okay, let's have Norm and then Marcel after that.
Excellent.
Hey, Mavens, it's Norm. I
we
was
miss you.
just remember calling maybe about 30 or 40, maybe 50 episodes ago. I started a debate about
Oh,
what to get,
God.
the Mac or an Apple.
Mac or an Apple.
Or a PC, and I ended up getting a Mac to go with the PC that we
poor
had.
bastard.
Anyways, now that the PC is starting to crumble, I'm starting to wonder whether or not I should be getting another
Another
laptop or getting one of these super duper tablets. Anyways, any thoughts?
Yes.
Talk to you soon. By tablets, I'm talking about maybe the Surface Pro 2 or maybe the Samsung 12.2 Pro. Anyways, have a good night. Bye.
You know, that's really interesting because I got an Nexus 7 tablet, a little 7-incher, and I played with it for like 3 or 4 days, and I sent it back.
Oh no!
Just didn't work
He
for me.
clarified at the end of that feedback.
what it was.
He said by tablet he's referring to like
Sure.
a Windows tablet, like a
Yeah,
Surface Pro 2.
And I'm saying a tablet. That particular tablet didn't work for me because it didn't work as a tool.
Yeah,
But
that's
what
not
I'm
a-
interested in is the new tablets. I want a 14-inch tablet. And there's some 14-inch tablets supposed to be coming out in 6 or 8 months. And that I would be very interested in because basically what it is what Andrew's got there is like a full-on computer tablet, big format, and a pro can use it. You know, and
Yeah, the
have
one
lots of
that-
inputs and stuff like that. You get a Wi-Fi keyboard if you want to use, or like a Bluetooth keyboard if you want to do that. But
Yeah.
basically it's a big thing, and I can use that for presentations,
Yeah.
and it has value.
Yeah, it's great. The one that Bob's talking about is the when he says mine is the Lenovo Yoga,
Which
Yeah.
is a fun little unit.
Yoga.
Yeah.
and it's cool. It flips around 360 degrees. You can use it as a tablet. You can use it as a PC, laptop.
Yeah, because I mean, if you need computer functionality, most tablets don't fit the bill.
But,
Yeah, and
but
you know
these
what?
are Windows
They're
tablets.
Windows. They're Windows.
Yeah.
Full on
And it's
Windows.
the
It's not
same
RT.
OS.
Not Windows
yes.
Mobile.
It is the
Yeah.
same operating system on all of those platforms.
And they
Yep.
finally got it right. Microsoft has screwed up.
Yeah.
People
So many times.
People, it's
15
You know,
years of
I
screwing
defend
up.
Microsoft, but you know they're hard to defend sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
They,
Yes.
that RT should never have existed.
Right.
And now they've got universal apps, which is
Yep.
what they should have had right from the get go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like now, if I'm going to develop an app as a developer and I have to develop a Windows app, Windows Phone app,
Yep.
Yeah,
a
one
Windows
stop
RT
shop.
app, and a Windows 8
Desktop,
app,
Yep.
you know, now I develop one app and it's for everything.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, Margaret said that Windows 8 has more installs than
All of the yeah.
So you know that'll bring developers to the game.
Oh, yeah.
For Windows Phone because they know that they're also going to
There's
be
lots
on
out there.
Windows 8. So it's awesome. I think it's great.
It
So
is very
I think that's a matter of his preference. So I had, and in fact, when
what's he gonna use it
we
for?
did a review of the Asus tablet that has a keyboard attached, a physical keyboard attached to it, I said I'm changing my mind about whether or not a tablet can be productive because that particular tablet can be productive. You can pull detach the keyboard if you want, and then it's
But it was still Windows Mobile.
it is,
Yeah.
but But still, I think I could work on that one, except it's got a 10-inch screen. But I could work on that machine if I was. I could take it away for a month, and I could work. I could get.
Well, that's what I'm saying, Bunny. I want a 14-inch app that's a 14-inch tablet that's
me
light
too.
that can do a bunch of stuff, and I just throw it in my bag, and it doesn't weigh as much as my MacBook Pro, which weighs like 15 goddamn pounds. It's so heavy, and I just want a light work machine that has lots of inputs. I can plug in the peripherals that I need to
That's where
do.
you're going to lose.
Well, that's the thing. It's. I'm waiting for that thing to come out.
So my Lenovo has a 14-inch screen, and it weighs about the same as the Asus tablet, which is probably
10-inch
heavier than I would like.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I would like, but it doesn't. I would have to give up a traditional hard disk.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you don't need those.
I don't have one on mine either.
Right.
You can download everything now, all the
Right.
drivers and
So,
software and stuff.
the thing is, 18 months, 2 years old, and I probably would make a different. I would make some different choices,
Yeah.
and I would be quite happy to have a very small hard drive.
Yep.
I love the keyboard on this, but I could live with a lighter keyboard also. But I want a responsive
Screen and
tap
speed.
screen.
Yep,
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, you
if
gotta
you've got right, I mean, if you've
Yeah.
got tap screen and a keyboard and a mouse, you can move.
Sure,
Yeah.
absolutely.
And
Yep.
I mean,
can get more.
that's the thing that people that have never had one don't understand. I don't need that. I've got a mouse, but really, it
No.
makes a big difference.
Yeah,
it does, doesn't it? Because it doesn't take very long at all
get habit- yeah,
to
you
get
just reach
in
for the
habit
screen.
of reaching. And in fact, if I've been on my laptop for even out for 2 hours, when I get back, I'm reaching for the screen on my tower, which
little late.
has a traditional monitor on right now, just because I'm too cheap, and there's nothing the matter with that monitor.
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it's for me, it's all about the functionality. And, I tried the Nexus 7. My wife's got one, and she loves it. In fact, she uses that 90% of the time, and she's got this beautiful, very expensive MacBook Air. And I tried it. It just didn't do anything I needed to do. It's my phone does the same. It's basically a large phone for me. And so I've got a nice phone. It does everything I need. It's stick it in my pocket, run around, do my business, check my email, blah, blah, blah. So I need something that my phone can't do. And what my phone can't do is presentations. And that's why I need a 14-inch screen so I can go in and I can pitch a job on a 14-inch tablet.
Okay,
and
so
that's the way I'd use it.
So my question is, why do you need all the inputs then?
Because I'd want it to do that. I'd like to do Hangouts with it. I'd like to do podcasting with it, all that type of stuff.
Okay, because with the Yoga, it's only got one, and almost all the new laptops are like this.
Yep.
It's only got one input. It's a dual input for mic and speaper.
Yeah.
So
The Nexus 7 doesn't have that. That's one strike against it. It doesn't have a mic
Wow.
capability. So
yeah, so
sorry.
you got to use a USB adapter if you want to have two separate inputs.
Yep.
Also, it's only got 3 USB inputs.
Yep.
Right.
Exactly. So it's limited.
but you
But
can
you
get
can put a
And
bar.
it doesn't have a Ethernet port either. Mm-hmm. So you're losing out on that, but you can get something like
You
this.
can get a bar. And
It's
then,
like the Ultra Station, which
Okay.
gives you a
Oh, right.
mic
Yeah.
input, a speaker input,
Exactly.
multiple USB inputs, a wormhole input,
yep.
which is cool.
So that's like a 15-inch
So
width. See that?
I've got a what do you call it?
Wait,
A
let's
Mac.
back
a
up
Mac.
here.
Hang on a second. I've got an iMac at home. It's almost dead. But
A
what I can do,
wormhole output.
yeah, that's what I'm going to explain. The wormhole.
Oh, okay,
What
fine.
it is I plug in the wormhole input to another computer. Can be
Okay.
PC or Mac, and then my mouse. I have
Oh,
extended
cool.
desktop going from my Lenovo laptop to a
Big
monitor.
monitor. Yep. And it works on both. All the time.
And then
Nice.
I can move my mouse up to the monitor.
Ah.
Yeah.
I can move across over to the Mac.
Oh, holy
I
crap.
can take
excited.
documents from the Mac and I can drop them onto my PC desktop.
Cool, isn't it?
It's
Yes.
very cool.
It's an interface
It's like
device.
an $80
Ooh.
accessory.
Yeah.
I
It's
think
called
that
the,
might be a gift to me.
Ultra Station. It's really cool.
They're very, very cool. And I think that's the future there. Like you have like a nice 14-inch high resolution touchscreen, and then you buy a unit that plugs into it to do it, and you have one of those at home that stays at home. Then you have a smaller one for roaming around, and when you need it, you plug it in. When you don't need it, you're just using it for presentation or fooling around.
That's the 2014 version of those
Docking station.
docking stations.
Exactly.
Isn't it?
Exactly.
Oh,
Yep.
I'm
Exactly.
excited.
But what's really cool about it is that if you do have multiple computers, you can use one interface to access both.
Yep.
I like that.
Yeah, it's
One
very-
bar to rule them all.
You know what I miss on my Lenovo is an RGB plug. Mine doesn't have an RGB.
What do you need an RGB to play vids?
Because
Excel?
often if you go out to speak,
You need the RGB interface,
You
yeah.
need the RGB, so that's got RGB
Yep.
for $80. So, so I can buy one of those at NCIX or somewhere.
I got this one at London Drugs.
Holy crap!
Yeah, London Drugs. They're the killer, man. They're the killer. Hey, was that the last Norm message?
That was the
Sorry.
last message.
Amazing.
Now,
And welcome to the show. Now we
Yes.
can start the show here. We're only an hour and a half in.
Marcel has a question, doesn't he?
Attaboy.
I do, and it's like way off topic from everything we've done.
Excellent.
But it's kind of like stuff we talk about, so it ought to work out.
Cool.
Aye.
Aye.
All right. So I have a special friend who I will not name, who just started a business, which I will not name. And he has a website, which I helped him build with my terrible,
Which you will not name.
terrible skills.
Yes.
Which we will not name. And it doesn't look completely like dog vomit, but it's getting there. 'Cause,
Anyways, it's getting.
I
If you
made it.
work hard, you
Now-
can get
now,
there.
Question. He is wondering, as far as searching for him and his business in the
Ah,
Googles, how does he SEO himself? Usually I would do
hang
this
on a
for
sec.
him,
Hang on a sec.
but he needs to know how to
How
do
does he
this.
SEO himself?
Hang on a sec.
A lot of lube.
I gotta set this up.
Oh, here he goes.
Now it's time
For
for
inane question.
SEO with Marcel.
All right. Thank you for redoing that.
That was fucking terrible. I'm just saying. Terrible.
So yeah, well, all SEO is really, if you want to go down to the basics, is understanding what your keywords are. It's like, oh, what are keywords? That's a bunch of research you got to do. So really, what your friend's got to do is find out what industry he's trying to represent, and then find out what words people are using to search for answers for that particular industry.
And how does he find that out?
Google.
Keep in mind, this is a person that
Google
is more or
Analytics.
less computer
No, not
literate.
Google
No.
Analytics.
No,
No.
it's Google AdWords.
Nope, not anymore.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, what is it, Bonnie?
Well, it's
Try
tied
to
to
keep
Google.
up.
It's
Try
tied-
to-
Oh,
it is
please.
tied to Google AdWords. But it's it used to be called the Google External Keyword Tool,
Yep.
but now
Yeah, it's inside the.
Okay.
they've canceled that.
Oh, they
And
just
now
moved
it's
it.
called the Google,
God damn it!
What's it called again?
I don't know.
How about let's pause for a sec. We need advice for someone who
Who
is
has?
A, computer illiterate, or B, advice for someone like
Hire
me
somebody.
who will probably do
Okay,
this
here's
for him.
Okay,
here's what
and
I suggest.
You
I suggest
all know me well.
I
I'm
suggest
not very
go
smart.
to
what should I do?
What's his name?
Ask
Hire
Eric.
somebody.
Ask
Sanj.
Eric.
Go
Eric
to
will do
Sanj.
it for free.
There is no,
No, no.
money.
Oh,
to spend.
Sanj will
This
do
is
it for
a
money.
person that just opened their own business. We
Okay,
can't
go
hire
to
someone.
Sanj and pay for pay-per-click.
Yeah, that would do
Look,
it.
Yeah.
nobody wants to
Yeah, but
and
we
that-
don't. Look, he doesn't have expendable money to throw around. This is a brand
Well,
new
he's fucked
business.
then.
Pretty much.
He is,
Brand new.
because there is no. So the other thing that he can do reasonably inexpensively. So if you get to page one,
What's your definition? What's your definition of reasonably inexpensively?
Under $100,000.
no. So
A
if
month.
he gets to page one, all he has is stranger traffic.
Yeah.
This is someone who has no. What's
This
the
is
word I
someone
want?
who, when local
Credibility,
people
no
are
local-
looking for
no-
a
No
thing-
credibility, no anything.
Sure,
I
no
mean,
brand recognition.
All you,
No,
all
like,
you
and trust
are
you.
is on page one
Yeah.
of something, and half the time they weren't even searching,
For you.
really searching for what you have.
Exactly, 'cause
they
no keyword
were
search.
using the keyword, but they were saying blue, and you meant sacre bleu or
Yeah,
whatever.
exactly.
So getting to page one, unless you're, I don't know, sex.com, no, not. Unless you're an e-commerce store, like cables, electronic cables or something, is pretty much
Well-
not the way to do it because it's very expensive.
Page one is not necessarily what he's looking for. He just needs, if local
Traffic.
people are looking for
that's totally
that
different.
kind
That's-
of location
Yeah.
in
He
the
has to create
area,
content. Okay, well
how
then he
can-
has
No,
how can
he's got to be in
how can he
Google
be-
Local
Yeah.
or whatever it's called
he's
now.
filled
Yeah.
out the thingy for that, whatever that is.
Google,
But how can he kind of
content.
be among the
Social
first listings
media.
locally for whatever?
Yeah, I would say, well, create content and then get it out on social media. But it still goes back to understanding what your keywords are, understanding what your market is and what they're looking for.
Your market.
Now, what I would recommend too, and it does cost money if he doesn't, because you can do this on Google, but it's a lot easier if you have a tool like Longtail Pro.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
Which I that's think a is, nice
piece of software.
Is
Yeah,
it free?
I don't even look for keywords anymore. I don't need them.
Is it free?
No, it's not
Really?
free. It's
Okay.
like $100.
I don't do it. I haven't done any SEO, traditional SEO for
Well, yeah, but
over
look at
a year.
But that's for you, but not for your clients.
And then there's another
No,
program
for my
that he
clients,
can get
we don't
called
do.
WP
The
Social.
only ones we do.
Hang on.
WP Social Pro, and you can get it at WPSocial.com.
Well, let me
It's $47, and it's like Yoast's free plugin, but it also combines social. It's actually
Well,
Oh
let
no,
me-
I
let
do
me put it this
Yoast
way.
still. I mean, but if you don't know who you want to come
Well,
to
no,
your
no. He does know who. It's a very specific thing that he's selling. Let me put it this way, Andrew. I know you did the Google stuff for the cell phone store. You and I used to work in together.
Yeah.
What did you do so that people in the area, if they were looking for a cell phone store in the area, would find your store?
So
how long ago
back
was
then,
that?
That's the point
that
of this
was
question.
several years ago. And,
I don't want to
and-
like name the business and stuff, but it's very specific, and we'll talk about it after the show.
Well,
Yeah.
back okay. So
What-
back
what
then
did-
it was
what did you
Google.
do?
It was Google Local, and it's since then become Google Plus Local.
Yeah.
And basically, all you do is claim, because Google created local sites for all businesses based on yellow. They pulled the Yellow Page data, and and it really wasn't optimized, and it was optimized for the business name, not the category. So no one's searching
Yeah.
for. I'll name the company. It was TAC Mobility.
Oh,
And,
I didn't name it because I wasn't sure
It's
if we
way too
could.
long.
And it's a company that doesn't exist anymore. But so if people were searching for TAC Mobility, it would show up on the map.
Yes.
But if someone was searching for a telestore or cell phone store or cell phone repair or any of the things that we do, it was showing up a company. Even if you were in our parking lot, it would show up a company 10 minutes away. So
Yeah.
I optimized all 32 locations for Google and basically what you have to do is you have to claim the business, and they'll verify that it's you by sending you a postcard,
Yeah.
and then you get the
about 2
postcard.
weeks.
Yeah, it takes about a week or two. And then you get the postcard and you enter the code in, and then you've got then you can go and edit everything and
Yep.
optimize it for the keywords that a customer would actually put in. And it did make a difference. We had people coming in, and we put an offer on there. So we knew that, because you can put offers on your Google local pages. And we had people coming in saying, they want the customer satisfaction discount. That was the only place that it was. And I have, they had that page on the TAC Mobility site, the coupon thing, that it was just a page.
Yeah.
There was a link on the website. It was hard to get to that page. And I got them to give me the Google Analytics traffic before and after I did that.
Big spike.
And there was like maybe a month visiting that page. And after we had done that, after I did that, there was hundreds of of visitors going to that page because people were actually searching.
Well, yeah, because you
So-
have a little coupon on there. I
so
got that
now-
coupon in my store.
You need to have photos up there. Photos.
There are photos.
Okay,
And video
photos.
too is a good idea.
Yeah, video. And you have to have real
Real,
and I say
real reviews.
Real reviews. Do not fake the reviews.
Yeah. I'll kill you.
But you can ask for real clients to give you real reviews. I don't have any issue with that, neither does anybody else. But do not fake them because you're going to get caught.
Yeah.
And also,
So-
there's another thing too. We had 2 negative reviews on 2 of our
Yeah.
stores, and they were just like total. Didn't make any
Yeah,
sense. It was just like
Nimrods.
total flaming troll reviews, and one of my coworkers, she figured out that it was actually someone from a North Van competitor that had done
Yeah.
that. I'm like,
Yeah.
It wasn't a real person because it was a fake profile, and they didn't have any other existence except for those reviews.
And you do need social media.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
You do
There is
need
social
that
media.
more than so that Google Local. I didn't realize that it was a
Twitter
store.
account, there's a Facebook page. We're working on it. But,
Okay, but actually go out and do something with that Facebook page.
Yeah.
So talk to people, and you can ask clients and friends to interact with that page. You have to have something besides just broadcasting crap all the time, because that's like a press release and nobody cares.
Of course, and we both agree on that one. Because he did
So
have,
are they-
he did have experience working on someone else's Twitter account before trying this out. But maybe it's best to talk about most of this after the show, because then I can actually give you proper context,
Sure.
so that we're not just talking.
And I would
hey,
also-
And we're an hour and a half into the show.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
before we
But I do
close the
feel
show,
like I have gotten some good advice to help, and I appreciate that, guys.
All
cool,
right.
awesome, and
The
that
bill will
kinda
be in the mail.
brings up
Yeah.
our final very short segment. Unfortunately, we're talking about somebody who's starting a business that needs help in SEO and social media. Should that business owner know something about social media before they hire?
Oh,
social
it's Bonnie's
media
topic.
manager?
Shit, we forgot about your topic.
No, that's
Why don't
fine.
we save it for next week, because that's
Can
a
we-
show.
can we
That's a
talk
complete
about-
show.
Yeah, it is. Can we talk about it just really quickly?
Absolutely, and then we'll have an
Even I
expanded
have an
version on
opinion
next
on
show.
I think that business owners should have an understanding of what social media is, because it is so close to who they are. It's not like a press release or any of that. So if they don't understand inbound marketing and they don't have a general understanding of best practices, then first there's two things. One of them is they could be taken by someone who is not the guru that they claim to be. And if they are a real guru, then the conversation between the business owner and the consultant and the manager is going to be that much richer. And I'll stop there.
No, I think it's very true. It's very
Okay,
true.
and also I think next week for a good topic would also be to because Bob is changing his email client.
Am I?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm getting rid of the Mac Mail because it's useless. And
How long did that take?
And what did you install?
I'm using Outlook.
There you go.
Oh,
I'm
I
going to check out the new
wanna know
Outlook
that.
2011. Very interesting. It's got a completely different. It's got some quirky things that piss me off, but I'll learn it. But what I'm finding is I'm excited about my email interface again, because it's a challenge for me to do something new. And I would say you don't have to use the same software to do what you've been doing for the last 10 years. Change it up,
Yeah.
learn something new,
Okay.
because you become better at using it.
Yes, exactly.
You know, it
I'm
brings
And
the
you know,
basics back up.
I last week or last episode we talked about
that note?
email
OneNote.
and everything, OneNote and all that kind of stuff. And I was the only one in the room that was actually using the Gmail web site as my email. So what I did after what you told me with the G-Sync It app and all that, I put my Gmail in my Outlook, and I got that app, and I'm syncing a bunch of things with it, including Evernote. So all my Evernote notes are now in my Outlook. I'm not sure about that. It didn't work out quite as, because even pictures show up as notes.
Okay.
And it's just got the title of the picture and nothing else in it. So I've got to clean it up, but it's actually really cool. And I'm still using the Gmail web interface quite a bit, but I'm now using the Outlook to sync with my OneNote. And
Cool.
it is pretty cool.
Excellent.
So-
That's a good thing. We could talk about notes in general, because we talk about it a little bit, but it's such a big topic.
For those that don't know, OneNote is available for Macs now for
there you
quite
go.
some time. It's 100% free, and you can just download it from Microsoft. And Bob should get
I'll
into
check it
that
out
too.
for sure. Well, I use what's the one with the elephant icon? Evernote. And I just don't use it that much. And then there's this new Google Note thing, blah, blah, blah. So I just
Google
got to...
Keep.
Yeah, I just got to start using notes more. The problem is I just use email for my notes. I'm just lazy. Old-fashioned. Anyways, thanks for joining the show. Don't bother calling us on our 1-800 number because we don't care anymore. But
We do.
please
That was
visit
a
our
good
Facebook
show.
account.
Unless you're Norm.
Yeah.
Norm must have heard
yeah.
that I was going to go to Fiverr
Oh, yeah.
and hire a new Norm for $5 because he called and left 7 messages this week.
I know. Hey, thanks
you,
everybody for
Norm.
tuning in and listening to the show. Please join us again soon. We really appreciate the input.
And if you've actually listened to 1 hour and
30 minutes?
of
Ooh,
our
get a
show,
life.
Nobody has. We're safe.
then
Now, they all tuned out about 45 minutes ago.
No, there was some
Congratulations.
good stuff there.
There was.
There was good stuff this week.
Yeah. Hey, at least it's not a Joe Rogan 2.5 hour show.
And cut.